Evening, welcome to the Derby debrief live from Pride Park Stadium. Owen Bradley with former Derby and Blackpool defender Shaun alongside, here to bring you some reaction to Derby's win over Blackpool this afternoon. A stunner from Ebou Adams 5 minutes before half-time. The difference between the sides, it's a massive win for Derby. It keeps them 5 points behind leaders Portsmouth and moves them 6 points clear of Bolton, who are third in League One. All the results from elsewhere, the table to come on this Good Friday evening. Derby, of course, next in action on Tuesday night when they visit the leaders. We'll maybe talk about that a little bit later in the show. You'll hear from Paul Warne and the player of the match, Ebou Adams, as well. But we start with Shaun, as always. A Derby win, well worth it, and it's 3 more points on the board for them. It
is. It was a pressure game, as was Bolton here just a week or two ago. We had to put in a performance. We had to get 3 points. The disappointment after the Northampton was not making the most of that gap that could have opened up, the opportunity that was there. And at home of late, we've been excellent in these pressure moments. And there wasn't a huge amount to separate the two sides at half-time, bar the wonder strike from Ebou Adams, who was outstanding once again. And the second half, we just dealt with getting that first goal. And before the match, I mentioned the importance of that first goal. If it had gone our way against Northampton, I think we would have won comfortably. Today, you're playing against a good team in Blackpool who build through the pitch. We knew that. But they never really tested our back line well enough. They never really put Joe under enough pressure. And I think some of that was down to Blackpool, but you have to give credit to the boys, their structure without the ball, the defensive unit, the togetherness, the team work ethic to keep the pressure away from Joe was outstanding. And I have to put my hands up. I was getting frustrated that we weren't maybe putting that back line under a bit more pressure with the press, but it worked perfectly because one save for Joe in a playoff kind of match with a team that's trying to get into the top 6 is some going. So the boys and the staff take the credit for that.
Blackpool had a lot of the ball, majority of the ball, as we thought they would, in fairness. But with an exception of maybe 5-10 minute spell at the start of the second half, which sort of came to an end when Jones Milesmith had a bit of a knock and there was a readjustment from Derby. It never felt to me, at least, as though Derby were really on the ropes at any point today.
No, and we gave up the ball for Blackpool deep on the pitch. I thought they progressed into our half a little bit too easy. So there was a couple of half chances for Blackpool in that first half where the centre half stepped forward. There were gaps. They played their intricate 1- and 2-touch football and rotations where they got in and got half a chance. In the second half, it started slowly. And then you saw them have a little chat with Paul and Richie on the side. They talked about the shape and the formation, and all of a sudden they dropped that 5 yards deeper and just said, well, OK, well, we're not going to go and press. You can have the ball, but what we're going to have is great shape and great structure and discipline without the ball. Now, for 5-10 minutes, the fans were getting a little bit disgruntled. I was getting a little impatient. I wanted someone to put a little bit of pressure, but they never created the chances with their possession of the ball. And again, that goes down to the work ethic, the detail that the coaches are giving out of possession. It's okay giving that detail, but unless you put it into practice in the game. And the reality is, when it opened up, our chances came on the counter. We've seen us do it so many times away from home this season. This time it was doing it at home. And I think after maybe 65 minutes or so, the fans realised that they haven't really tested us. They haven't really tested that back line. And ultimately, it looked like we would get the second goal. So, wonderful performance, great detail, and it's the 3 points we needed.
And let's get some reaction from downstairs. Here's Derby's boss, Paul Warne.
Yeah, I probably feel like the lads feel just exhausted. Like, it's hard to win a game of football, I say that all the time, and it takes everything, and everything matters, every tackle, every winning header, everything. And I thought against a really good Blackpool side, you know, they're bringing on some really good players as well. I knew they're a very good footballing side. I think we limited them to very few chances, and it takes a lot of work from the coaches to, you know, the out of shape, out of possession stuff, where you should be and all that. And I appreciate at times at home you want more of the ball, but every time you bounce to get it, they're an athletic team, they bounce it around you. So to come away with a win and a goal of that magnitude is probably befitting a game like that. I thought as a neutral it's probably a good game. It's pretty end-to-end. And so for Eves to score one like that was a pretty magical moment.
We talked a lot about Ebou Adams and what he's added since you brought him in January. It's nice that he's got that in his locker as well.
Yeah, I know, goals, I always say to him, I mean, he jumps so high on celebrations, he should score more headers. And in fairness, talking about headers, I thought we should have scored first half from a set piece. But yeah, I love Ebes. He's been brilliant since he's been in. I said from day one, he's a really good person first and foremost. But a good footballer, a good competitive one in the middle of the park, which we needed. And the only thing I don't like about Ebes is if he's ever behind me when I'm clapping fans, I keep thinking I'm getting booed all the time because stop. He like follows me, honestly. He shouldn't get booed if you won, at least. So. Really pleased with him. Really pleased with the two centre halves again. Obviously, we had to go back to a back four because of the situation. Sibbs is playing out of position. I thought done really well. It's not easy to go from being a 10 to an 8 to a 3. So generally speaking, really good. It's just a pity we didn't get a second goal. Wash had a chance. We had a couple of little bits and bobs, but overall, really proud of the lads. I think you can see how much it's taken out of them. We have to make subs. The physio team done brilliant to get Nat in any position to play, and that was a right boost for us. And obviously we had to take him off. Corey fatigued. I thought Corey was really good today, a real good outlet. And against a different opposition, he'd have probably had even more of the ball. So I'm really pleased. Don't think I've got any injuries, before you ask me. Don't think I've got many issues. The results have been kind. It's been a really good day, and obviously it's an amazing feeling getting on the pitch with the lads at the end, and the place is bouncing, and there's still some flags. So yeah, really pleased.
How much do you want them and you to enjoy moments like that, the celebrations at the end?
Yeah, I do. Life. I sound a bit deep here, but a bit dark. But life is short. Careers are very short, and you've got to enjoy being a footballer, and you've got to enjoy playing under pressure when you're going for something. Like if you're 15th in the league today through no fault of your own, possibly, but if you've got a game and if you win, great, and if you lose, no footballer is involved in it for that. They're in it to do something and to achieve something and to be linked forever that you were a great team that done something. So, and I want the lads to enjoy every moment of it. I said to them before the game, you can ask them about like pressure's a privilege. You're lucky that you're playing for something. You've got 30,000 people trying to egg you on. And you're playing for my wife and 2 kids who are here today as much as their own. So, yeah, really pleased. I want them to enjoy it. But until you've achieved anything, you're just very close, aren't you? And there's a lot of teams that are very close. And hopefully we can be very closer in a couple of weeks.
James Collins got a brilliant reaction when he came on. How much of a boost is it to get him back ahead of schedule, I guess?
I know, it's really good. I mean, he's had an amazing season. He's trained so hard. The physios, again, have been brilliant with him to get in anywhere. I honestly didn't think he'd be back this season initially. And it's nice for him to come on. His son wrote me a nice card before the game, buzzing with that. And for him to come on like Ibrahimovic is probably the first time in his career he's had. So, yeah, really good. And, the fans know how much we missed Nine and how hard he worked and how hard Tomo worked when he came on. And, I just laughed with Conor Houmahan that we must be good at coaching because we've actually coached him to kick for touch. I've never seen him ever do that in his career, so that was good. Went for a line out and then won the ball back. So that was really good. So there's pockets of, good stuff today. There's times where, obviously not everything's going to be perfect, but the result is, and that's all I worry about now. It's about results. Trying to keep them fit and healthy for the next one, and then after this one we get a little bit of a rest, and then obviously we've then got 4 left, and they're going to be big games, and there's no givens. Last weekend we played against Northampton, didn't do enough to win. Today, in the moments we done enough to win, and we're going to have is it 5 games left, or potentially 8? So we'll have to see how it goes. But generally, I'm waffling. Pretty happy. My brain's all over the place, but I hope everyone who came today enjoyed it, and thank you for staying with the team because it was a very tough game.
There's Derby boss Paul Warne, who's pretty much bob on with his maths. 5 games remaining now for Derby. We'll take you through the results and the table before we leave you, of course, and some reaction from the player of the match, Ebou Adams, coming up as well. His goal, Shaun, was terrific. The difference between the sides, that moment of quality that won Derby the game.
Yeah, and I mentioned it on comms that he deserved that. He's been a revelation since he signed for the football club. We always knew that we lacked a ferocious centre midfielder that gets box to box, that makes tackles, that lands on second balls. He had moments today of pure brilliance as well. A couple of switches of play, a couple of wonderful passes, but the finish was something special. It bounced him on the edge of the box, and the technique for that, the timing for that, to get it on the outside of your right boot and actually swerve it away from the goalkeeper was something special, and he deserved it because he's hit the hearts of all the Derby fans. Everyone seems to love him. The reports are that he's a wonderful guy as well, and you like to see good people achieve good things, and yeah, delighted for him. Wonderful performance once again, and a goal to separate the two sides of real quality.
Yeah, simply terrific goal. And actually, it was Derby who had the better of the other opportunities as well. Joe Wildsmith has one save to make from a free kick. Blackpool, a couple of half chances first half, but Colin Washington goes through. Louis Sibley had an opportunity at the end. There was a scrum in the first half right down on the goal line that maybe could have gone out differently. They still created a little bit more today, Derby.
They did, and I think the point that Paul's trying to make is those moments went in our favour. Now, against Northampton, they didn't. I don't think there was much in terms of chances for either team. And if you look at it objectively, there wasn't a huge difference between Northampton and Derby in the previous game, yet we feel disappointed. We feel like we've been let down. We feel like Derby didn't turn up. Now, you flip that today, and I thought Blackpool had 2 or 3 wonderful chances in the first half that they didn't make the most of. They didn't even hit the target. Now, if you're missing those chances against Derby, you might rue them at the end, and that's what they have done. Derby took the one chance on the edge of the box. Again, it was a wonder strike. And those small margins, those small differences make a huge impact to both the result and the season. And we're looking at this stage, picking up 3 points, other results going our way. It was just a perfect afternoon. It could have been a perfect afternoon against Northampton if you get that first. We didn't. We paid the price, and today we didn't because of that goal and because of the way we set up in that second half to make it very difficult for Blackpool. And the reality is, if we could have had a couple of chances ourselves with Connor Washington, there was a couple that fell in and around the box. So details go a long way, and today the details were spot on.
Let's bring you some more reaction. We can hear from the man of the moment, Ebou Adams.
Yeah, it's a good day's work, isn't it? Well, no, I've got to give credit to the boys. The cause have been unbelievable, and hopefully make it continue.
If you can, talk us through the goal, because it's an unbelievable hit.
I can't remember. It's all a blur at the minute. But I just remember the ball bouncing, and I just thought, let me just catch it on the outside of my foot. And when I see it swerving away from the keeper's hand, I was like, yes. I just ran off before it even hit the net. So it was a good feeling, especially after last week. So, and yeah, may it continue. Yeah,
just listening to you talk to the media outside, and you mentioned the opportunity that you had at Northampton. So did today feel like a little bit of redemption for you, putting that one away?
Yeah, to be fair, I was thinking about it all week, like especially after Northampton, when I missed the opportunity, I was probably raging. I was annoyed with myself, didn't sleep, kept waking up thinking, should have scored, would have made a difference. But yeah, worked hard in training, hopefully put things right, and thankfully I did today.
And man of the match for your overall performance, not just the goal. How important was today in that win for the team?
Oh, it was massive. To be fair, I was thinking about not losing 2 in a row, and obviously get a win on about. And the boys have been immense. The defence, the goalkeeper from the front line have been unbelievable. I can't just say it's man-made. I think it's a great team performance, especially after last week.
And you never seem to be under too much pressure, even if Blackpool had a lot of the ball.
No, to be fair, that's how we are. Like, if we're good on the ball and we can sit off and catch teams on the counter attack, and I think that just shows that we can mix things up and do various things, and I think that's important, especially in this league, because it's not always that you can play how you want to play and play football and enjoy it. The first half, especially, we played a lot of football, got a goal. Maybe second half we sat, but maybe a bit too deep and invited pressure, but we still had a very good chance to make it 2-0. But no, it just shows that we can do both sides of the game, and it's very important, especially in this league.
And we have to ask about your sort of personal circumstances at the moment. For people that aren't aware, you're observing Ramadan, you're fasting. How difficult is it to play while you're going through that?
It's definitely not easy. But no, I've been doing it for my whole life. So obviously you fast from sunrise to sunset, no food, no water. I've pretty much been doing it my whole life. And I managed to gauge if I'm doing too much or too less. And the club have been amazing with it. They've been looking after me, making sure I don't do too much, not wearing myself out, giving me products to help me get hydration in and whatnot. And then we've got one of the team staff doing it with me, which is unbelievable. And it makes things even better. So it's a good thanks to Derby for helping me out, and it's making me do well. How I get through games, I don't know. Only God knows, because he's looking after me. And it's not easy, I tell you that. But no, I'm enjoying it. The boys looking after me, and I'm thankful to keep putting up performances.
Yeah, Sam, the nutritionist, I think, who's doing it with you. Was
that
your idea, his idea?
No, it was his idea, actually, and it took me by surprise. I took a step back when he said it to me, and I was like, you gonna do it? You may struggle, but he's been unbelievable. He's full of energy today. He's got more than I have. But nah, it's been massive for me, and it's given me a massive step. Like he's doing it with me, and he doesn't have to do. And it shows how much like a community as Derby was so tight knitted, and it's really enjoyable. And I'm enjoying my time here.
For those that aren't aware, can you just explain why Ramadan is so important to you?
Obviously, as Ramadan is important, I'm a Muslim. Ramadan is one of the 5 pillars that needs to be done. So every a month, once in a year, that we have to fast through 29 to 30 days. And this year it's 14 hours of fasting. So I've probably still got another hour till I can eat. But it's important for me. It's not just about fasting. It's not just about eating and not eating and drinking. It's about looking after yourself, self-discipline, making yourself a better person, giving charity and self-reflection. And for me, that's important. That makes me who I am today, and that reflects it outside of football and on the pitch. So I think I'm a good person, but I can still better myself. I'm not amazing. So, and that's what Ramadan gives you, to self-reflect, to work on yourself, and it's really important.
Thank you for talking us through that. Just finally, we've talked before about how much these fans love you and have taken to you so quickly. Were you able to hear and process the reaction when you scored and the noise?
Honestly, I find it hard to hear what they're saying when I'm playing because I'm too focused in the game. But no, it was good to finally score a goal because the boys have been on my back. Like, you keep striking it, they keep getting blocked and whatnot. Just maybe tackle it in. But no, thankfully it's a clean strike and it went in, and I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. Thanks to the boys, and the fans have been amazing.
Player of the match and goal scorer today, Ebou Adams, talking to RamsTV. Results from League One this afternoon, then everyone in action on this Good Friday. Barnsley lost at home to Cambridge. They have had issues at Oakwell. Barnsley this season. That's a big win for Cambridge as well. Cheltenham winning at Fleetwood, who look as good as down at this stage. Lincoln got the better of Leyton Orient in that battle of the playoff hopefuls. Lincoln actually breaking into the top 6. It looks as though Orient's challenge may be over. A big upset at London Road, where bottom of the table Carlisle beat Peterborough by 3-1. Big win for Darren Moore and for Port Vale. They beat Bristol Rovers by a couple of goals to nil. Oxford held away at Shrewsbury. That's what's opened the door for Lincoln to move into the top 6. Bolton held at Stevenage, a result that does Derby a big favour. And Portsmouth, the leaders, winning at Wickham, an impressive victory for them. They stay top of the table. It means they will be 5 points clear of Derby with a game in hand going into that game at Fratton Park on Tuesday night. Derby now 6 clear of Bolton and 10 points clear of Peterborough and Barnsley. They both have 2 games in hand. Bolton with a game in hand on the Rams. But it is looking a little bit more comfortable for Derby now, who have just 5 games remaining. Blackpool now 4 points off the playoff places. At the other end, they're still pretty much as you were, but Burton looking very vulnerable after only managing to pick up a point today. And just a quick final word from Shaun, because the table will look different before Derby kick off at Fratton Park on Tuesday night. But what a game now coming up between the top 2 on Tuesday evening.
Yeah, and it's a game that we should look forward to. Our form's been good of late. There's only the disappointment of Northampton. We've played in some big games, some pressure games, and we've dealt with it really, really well. To go to Portsmouth, I think that's probably the game that you almost kind of envisage to be the difficult one from now until the end of the season. But I think we can go there fearless. I think we can set up in a way to make it difficult for Portsmouth. And you never know, if you get the 3 points, it puts that added bit of pressure onto them, and see what happens from them from now until the end of the season. So we've got ourselves in a wonderful position. We've been talking about it all season. 5 games to go. This has to be relentless, and we have to get over the line and try and get in the top 2. But the game against Portsmouth is definitely a special one.
Box, thank you as always. That's all from us around. If you want more reaction to today's game, it'll be on the website dcfc.co.uk. Don't forget the women in action at Pride Park on Sunday, taking on Nottingham Forest. Tickets available for that. They're on the website as well, dcfc.co.uk. But for now, from me, Box, and the team, happy Easter and goodbye.